What I'm about to tell you is probably the literal equivalent of the sky is blue or drinking water is good for humans. You know, something that everybody already knows that they shouldn't really be surprised by. But before I tell you that, let me tell you this. See this? It says Disney Snow White. So I'm not gonna shit on her right now because that's actually not what this video is mainly about. It's about something else. When I tell you, there's a lot of things I read which say this. Rachel Zegler's Snow White. Now think about this. It's not Disney's Snow White, the people that produced the movie. It's Rachel Zegler's. There's a lot of people that have been saying Rachel Zegler Snow White, not Disney's Snow White. She had a part in making the movie bad and making people dislike the movie, yes. But let's not pretend like she's the entire producer of the movie. But let's not pretend she was the director of the movie, the one who funded the movie, the one who brought the actors to the movie, the one who created every little problem in the movie. She was just a symptom of the overall problem, which is Disney, a lot of people there, are just out of touch, stuck-up celebrities that think they're better than you. Want to put their ideologies in movies to show how good they are and how the perfect world can be created based off of what they think is perfect. And that is the overall problem with this, which is Disney is basically using her name as a scapegoat to throw all responsibility that they had in the movie onto her, which is not only completely unfair, it's completely unjustifiable too. So I'm not gonna make fun of her now because this is actually a horrible piece of shit move by Disney. The worst part about this is it's literally as unexpected as Moist Critical wearing a white shirt in his videos. That's how unexpected this really is for a Disney move. So I shouldn't have been surprised. I should not have been as surprised as I was to even find out. But a lot of people have been saying Rachel Zegler's Snow White. But this is the problem. It's not her movie. She didn't produce it. She didn't direct it. She didn't make the entire movie herself. She was the main actress, but she was only a symptom of the real problem, which is Disney wanted to recreate a movie that its own creator said do not recreate ever, because they wanted a few extra dollars in their hand. Disney has thrown so much other trash at the fans that they expect you to eat it up like brainless zombies. And now this bomb is so bad that they want to abstain any and all accountability and throw it onto their actor instead. Like, she's pretty young for an actress. Let me see how young she is. So she's currently 24 years old. She's pretty young. Like, she did have a fuck up. But Disney throwing all this on her instead of themselves, a multi-billion dollar company. Like, multi-hundred billion dollar company. Like, no joke. Disney could fund an entire military operation by themselves, create an army, and take over some small countries without a single drop of blood on the battlefield. No joke, that's how much money they have. They literally could build up an army to take over very small countries and easily win without any struggle at all. One of the most valuable companies in the entire world. One of the most well-known products in the entire world. So well-known, people are willing to spend $20,000 at least once in their life to go to Disney for once. One so well-known that whenever people go to Universal, they think they're going to Disney instead. And they're surprised there's no Disney characters in Jurassic Park. And they're more than happy to throw her out the bus and have her be ran over and destroyed by everybody. They don't want it to be known that they're the reason the movie failed overall. Like, for every comment she made, think about this. They could have easily had a prince in the movie if the director wanted it, whether or not she wanted to do it. If she didn't want to do it, they could have hired another actress and that would have been it. But instead, Disney happily went along with this. Meaning that, my personal opinion is, they definitely wanted to make this overly political version of Snow White, release it, and hope that a bunch of people get brainwashed into thinking it's a great movie. But instead, once it had the opposite effect, now they're masquerading it as Rachel Zegler is the only problem of this entire movie. One actor does not change the fate of an entire movie. Like, let's be honest. So I think a lot of the hate she's getting is unwarranted because it really should be directed at Disney. Like, all the jokes back then used to be funny, but the problem now is She's getting attacked too much for a problem that Disney allowed to be created themselves, happily. They thought they were going to get a shit ton of money and a bunch of stuff. They failed miserably. And instead of admitting their failure and saying it's our fault for this movie being as bad as it was, instead of doubling down on it being good, they just threw the blame onto someone else. And I feel like this is going to happen more often if this is successful. If Disney succeeds at destroying her career, for them throwing out a garbage piece of trash to the audience like us, what's going to stop them from doing it to the next young actor who has barely any idea what they're doing, barely any idea how to control themselves to stop the public from disagreeing or hating them, barely any idea how all these things work, young enough to make a mistake as bad as this. They allowed her behavior to go on that long, happily, for the most part, and then once everything went to shit, they're basically letting her get beat to shit while they just walk away like they never were a part of the movie. If they succeed at this, they're gonna do it to some other actor years later, and they're gonna do it again and again and again and again. Disney doesn't make new products that are good because it's hard. They like rehashing old things because that's the only thing they know how to do to make some money. I think it's horrible, and I really wish I had the power to make more people angry at Disney, but I really don't. But I think this is horrible behavior by them. I know exactly that they know what they're doing, and they don't care. They don't care that it's mainly their fault that this became like this. This isn't a 50-50 thing, 90 to 5% thing. She's 5% of the reason the movie is bad, but the other 90% is everyone at Disney who happily allowed this movie to be made, and then were surprised when it turned out to be a piece of shit nobody liked. For everything bad we can say about her, there's a lot of people in the background that we could say the same things about that we don't know. There's a lot of other people that all that bad stuff we say about Rachel Zegler probably does apply to as well. The only difference is we don't know their names and faces because they're not on the main product. So yeah, this is my understanding of it. I think it's horrible, and the fact that Microsoft, a company that used to do its hardest to be a monopoly, is looking a lot nicer than you nowadays means you're a fucking problem. That's literally what it means. Disney, you are the problem. Your head is so far shoved up your ass, and now if they succeed at ruining her career and taking all blame off of themselves, they're gonna do this again and again and again. They're gonna feed young actors to wolves for the mistakes that they made themselves and never learn from it, because they'll never have consequences. Only one person will, and they'll be more than happy to laugh about it at the end.